Hey, thanks for checking out this new video from the Brokers Podcast. As you could tell, I am not any of the original members of the Brokers Podcast. However, I was asked by Wax Groove to make a quick video discussing about some of the projects that I have been listening to recently. So, with that being said, I'm DJ Frequency. My friends call me Steve. On IG, I go by Steve Mac _203. And I've been in touch with Wax Groove, just, again, connecting over music and, just a simple discussion about, some dope music has grown from there. And here I am making this video. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. One of the things I love about the Brokers Podcast, is that they really cater to or focus on a certain kind of hip hop that I like. You got your Drakes, you got your West Coast superstars like YG or Kendrick Lamar. You got Atlanta superstars and rappers from Memphis, and that's all great and everything. But there's a certain kind of hip hop that I like. Artists like Freddie Gibbs, Currency, Action Bronson, everyone from Griselda, pretty much. 38 Special, Boldy James, uh, you know, Apollo Brown, and everyone he works with. The list goes on and on. But I could relate to these guys because they pretty much like the same kind of music that I like, or similar artists. And one of the people that they've actually put me onto was Larry June. Over the past couple months, he's become one of my favorites. If you haven't heard of Larry June, trust me, you should check him out. He's got kind of like he's from the Bay Area, but he's got like a more kind of Currencies kind of style, kind of sound. He's produced by Carter Got Wings a lot, not always, but most of the time. And I, of course, love his production. And the vibe is just most of the time very chill, inspiring, talking about getting his bread and getting money and, fly shit, pimping, all of that. The beats aren't too chill, but they're not too hyped and not too stonerish and not too lyrical. Like, it's just perfect. So if you haven't heard of him, the albums I recommend and the ones that I've been listening to is Adjust to the Game, Product of the Dope Game, Out the Trunk, and Mr. Midnight. Moving on from there, I've been listening to Flea Lord, someone who I haven't been familiar with, but I've seen like on the features of, Benny the Butcher, Conway, or Westside Gunn. You would see Rock Marciano. You would see like him being featured on there, but I never really checked him out. So I just wanted to figure out, I'd look into his catalog a little bit. And the albums that I really like are Loyalty or Death and Lord Talk Volume 2. And lastly, Knowledge just put out a beat tape. Knowledge is a West Coast producer, and he's worked with Anderson .Paak and Kendrick Lamar, and he's got a really dope and unique sound. I wouldn't say like Mad Lib, but he does the lo-fi stuff, and he's really great at remixing records and putting these very chill, simple instrumentals together. So he just put out a beat tape called 1988. So if you haven't heard that, go check it out. All these albums should be available on your favorite digital streaming service. I use Tidal just because I really like it. I'm a big fan and promoter of Tidal. Tidal's awesome. Just because me personally, because I DJ, I could use Tidal within the Serato software, and then mix like that, and I don't have to download you know a whole bunch of stuff. I do play from my hard drive, but whenever someone comes to request and I don't have it, it's so great to just pull up Tidal and right there. And I make my crates in Serato, but I can use my playlist from Tidal. It's just awesome. A lot of people sleep on Tidal, man. It's great. It's got great video content, exclusive content. The playlists they put together are great, and their homepage is awesome. One thing I don't like about Apple is you open up the homepage and it's kind of blank. In the browse section, it's like they recommend you some stuff. But Tidal, man, Tidal's on it, man. They put you up onto everything. But that's just my opinion. Also, I wanted to discuss real quick even though we talked about what I have been listening to, talking about some stuff I will be listening to. So these just came in the mail. I got some CDs from Rhymesayers Entertainment. They're an independent music label out in Minnesota. I believe Slug from Atmosphere did some work with them. Or co-owns it or co-founded it or something like that. But anyway, I got this album right here. Oh, the sale was crazy. Like, I got these CDs for $5 each, and then I had to pay shipping or whatever. But yeah, $15 for all three of these. Usually when you go into a store, it's like $10, $12, $13 for one CD. So it was a good deal. So I picked up this album called White Van Music by Jake One. Jake One's also a West Coast producer, I believe from Seattle. Excuse me. And he's worked with everyone from Rick Ross, Jay-Z, Drake, Wale, J. Cole. But his sound is more like boom bap, hip hop-ish. Not really, but kind of. But he's also worked with, great dudes, Freeway, Brother Ali, Little Brother, MF Doom, Royce the 5'9", cats like that. So I wanted to support and buy one of his albums pretty much. This was called White Van Music, which was one of his earlier albums, probably the first one like I heard him on. And what was dope is that this came with a White Van instrumental CD. I didn't even know that it came with the instrumentals. I thought I was just gonna buy the album. So that was a good buy. Next we have Evidence, who's also from the West Coast. He dropped an album a couple years ago, maybe like 2013, 14, does it say? 2011, maybe. Yeah, Cats and Dogs by Evidence. One of his best albums he's ever put out. So yeah, check him out. And this is dope because it comes with a poster in here. It's pretty sick. And then also, Evidence and Alchemist team up sometimes, and I guess they put out an album called Step Brothers. Oh, no. When Alchemist and Evidence come together, they're called Step Brothers, and their album's called Lord Steppington. And this is just an awesome CD cover. It's like velvet. This is all like gold. It's pretty sick, pretty luxurious, pretty fancy. $5 for this. So I'll be listening to those albums soon, but there's so much music, it never ends. I still gotta listen to, that, like, I skimmed through it, but really to listen to, I gotta still listen to that Alchemist and Boldy James album, that Alchemist and Conway project. Westside Gunn just released something. It never stops, man. Every week there's something, so I always feel behind, which is why I tune into shows like the Brokers Podcast, and hopefully Wax Groove will continue to update us on what he's been listening to and talk about projects that are being released, and just making content during this strict social distancing time. And make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the show, and share the video, and you know give us some feedback and let us know if you like it, and comment on the video below and let us know what you're listening to. I'm very open-minded, so I'm always checking out new stuff. And if it wasn't for the Brokers podcast, I wouldn't be listening to Larry June pretty much every day. So with that being said, hopefully, you're doing well, health wise and financially, and hopefully, when things get back on track, you'll be in a good situation. You'll be all right. You know, Everyone's going through a tough time right now, but it shouldn't last forever. At least that's what I'm hoping. So thanks again, and be